Hey, Sahar, welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I'm going to be talking about a book I recently read. I better read it, so I don't think it's actually out yet. But so there might be spoilers in this. I will try my best to be non-spoilery, but I'm very bad at that. So just warning you. But I absolutely love this book. It's the fifth book in the Mantis series. I think it's fifth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the fifth book. Um, but I absolutely love it. I think I've done reviews for the other books, um, and it's a horror book, and there's some cannibalism in this series. Basically, there are people born with superpowers, and and then if you want those powers, you can basically bash their head open because everyone with powers have this mantis gland in their brain, and you can take that and eat it, and then you get their powers. And they're called shifts, but then there's also biological shifts, and their powers kind of transform their body, like Lahari, who's kind of like this lizard type. And I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. My favorite character is Agrel. She Spoilers, she died at the end of book one. Very sad. Um, it made me cry. I loved her. And I definitely saw something going on with her and Lahari. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I definitely thought there were feelings there. And I absolutely love Dozy too, who's also introduced in book one. I love her growth because at the beginning she was kind of standoffish and she didn't really have anybody, and it seemed like she didn't want to have anybody, like she was just better off alone. But then she meets Agrel, and I feel like because now she's basically, because in book five she's helping people that need home shifts and biological shifts who were outcasted by their family and friends for being shifts. And there's these drag queens, Auntie Peg and Dot, who own this youth center for children. And every book you are introduced to a few new characters, and a few new characters were introduced to one. Two of them were still children, so they were end up finding home in the youth center. But one of them was more Dozy's age. Dozy ended up letting her live with her, um, because she didn't have anywhere else to go. And I thought that was so sweet because I just don't see book one. It's not that book one Dozy was mean or anything. She was just standoffish, and I feel like Agrel, who she meets Agrel before they meet anyone else. The first person they meet, they're two of the main characters, and they meet each other pretty early on. And Agrel was just so sweet and kind and good-hearted, and every time she saw someone that needed help, she did. She helped Lyra, whatever her name is, and then she ended up helping Lahari, and she took one look at Lahari and was like, "You're not disgusting. You're beautiful." Another reason why I shipped them in book one, and Dozy. I feel like that just rubbed off from Dozy's. Like Dozy's trying to keep Agrel's memory alive by helping people the way Agril did. Agril died to save all the ships, and it was so beautiful. And I feel like Agril definitely rubbed off on Dozy and kind of showed Dozy that you don't have to, be standoffish. That it's okay to care. And now she has this huge found family because the found family is a big part of this. Like Mystic and his husband, they're so cute, and Auntie Pagan, Dot, and then um, there's also a trans character that came out in this book. She was introduced in book three, I think, maybe four. I think it was three. But she just came out as trans, and I loved that too because everyone was immediately accepting. But there was even a character that was like, "I'm sorry if I get it wrong a few times. I'm used to calling you he, but I will but I will try to remember." And I just feel like that's very important because it can be hard, especially someone you know, or for older people who are trying to understand it, who don't because they didn't really understand, because like trans people weren't exactly out in the older days. So I feel like it was very important to showcase like you can be accepting and still make mistakes. Just because you're accepting doesn't mean you're gonna get it right away, especially if you've known this person for years. It's gonna be hard to all of a sudden start calling she instead of he when you're just so used to that. Same with changing her name. And I just feel like that was so sweet that it was addressed and that he was like, "Yeah, I totally get it. I get it. This is kind of came out of nowhere," or I don't really think came out of nowhere, but you know what I mean. I just really like how that was addressed because I feel like that's never addressed. But to me, as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. And I just think it was really sweet um, how they addressed it. And yeah, I love the new characters. I always love the new characters being introduced. And the battle scenes, oh my gosh, the author does amazing battle scenes. They're always very much gory, and I love good gore in my horror. Um, and I'm not squeamish in the least bit, so like you can show me almost anything, and I just will not care. Like I won't even close my eyes. Like some people will be like and watching through their fingers or watching behind the covers, and me no, I'll be like this the entire time. Like um, so I love horror, and I love horror. I don't. This is the only horror book I've really read, but I love watching horror movies, and I just love the gory scenes. I love the fight scenes. I love how the rebellion the shifts because a couple books ago they started fighting back against the people trying to kill shifts because they think they're inhumane and should be extinct, and how they're fighting back and how they're killing everyone who tries to kill shifts. And Alahana, some of these names I swear I'm getting wrong, so I'm sorry if I am, but she was introduced a couple books ago. She made a device that a bad guy ended up using for bad, and she felt very guilty, so she ended up getting Dozy and Lahari and stuff to help her defeat this guy. And she ends up, and one thing that always annoys the hell out of me is when bad guys um, have no remorse about killing, but then when someone's about to kill them, they beg, say, "Oh no no no, please don't kill me, please don't kill me." Like seriously, you didn't care about other people's lives that you were taking, and he was so sure that he was doing the right thing, getting rid of shifts and stuff. He was like, "I was only doing what I think was right," and I just hated him so much. He was getting on my last nerves, but I'm so happy that Lohana killed him. Like yeah, go, he deserved it. But anyways, um, I loved it. I love every book in the series, and I'm so excited for the next book. I can't wait till this book comes out so that I can write a review because I don't think it's come out yet. And so once it does, I'm going to obviously write a review and rate it 5 stars because it was amazing. And I absolutely loved it. And I definitely highly, highly recommend this entire series. It's called The Mantis Clan. Book 1 is the Mantis variant. This one um, and so yeah, definitely highly recommend the series. Check it out, especially if you like horror and don't get squeamish because it can get gory. But I love gore, so I'm here for it. And yeah, I have another one of his books, the sci-fi series. I'm going to read. I haven't read that much sci-fi, but I am excited for it because it definitely sounds interesting. So I can't wait to read that as well. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll try to see you guys below. And I'll talk to you guys later.